Hey everyone, hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for coming back to watch another market update. And this week I am talking about supply making big moves of 1 point. So I'll talk to you about that. But it sounds small, but it's actually a pretty big move for what we've been seeing. So first, if you have not watched my updates before, everything I'm talking about comes from the Cromford report, and they measure and analyze MLS data on a daily basis to give me and other realtors all this information that we can provide to our clients. So that's where a lot of this comes from. They also have something called the CMI, or the Cromford Market Index, which is a measure of supply and demand factors in our market. And it helps us understand where we're headed with prices based off of that. So it's a mathematical equation. They assign a value. Anything between 90 to 110 is a balanced market. Anything above 110 is a seller's market. Below 90 is a buyer's market. So that's all you need to know for the moment. But let's talk about where we're at. So every week I talk about where we're at on the CMI and how things are changing. And it has been a lower number and a lower number every single week that I've reported recently. We were at 514 at the peak, I think, somewhere around there. 462.6 now. So it has continued to go down. It's dropping about 30 points per month. And that is largely due to supply not increasing, and our demand has continued to decrease. So if we split out those factors and look at where those stand, our demand is at 107.4, which is 7.4% above normal. So we have demand that's higher than a normal range, and then our supply is at 23.2, which means that it's 77% below normal. It has been 78% below normal. So that's the big news this week. Supply came up 1 point. But for that to happen over 1 week when we've been sitting stagnant for so long, it's actually a pretty exciting move to see. I'm curious to see if this will continue, if we'll go up another point next week. I don't know. But it would be great to see a little bit more supply. We've kind of been begging for that for a while. So supply is sitting at 23.2 instead of 22 point whatever I've been saying week after week after week. So that's good news. Now, these factors are what's making the overall overall CMI go down. And like I said, it's dropping about 30 points per month. If we continued to drop 30 points per month consistently, it would take us about 11 months to get back to a balanced market. Now, is that going to happen? Are we just going to see this continuous trend consistently for the next 11 months? I doubt it. I think something will change one way or the other. I don't think it's going to be that mild and just continue to see us going down. Phoenix is likes to give us a lot more excitement than just something predictable. So I kind of doubt that, but you never know. But that's okay. So let's say that it does go down 30 points per month, and by next May, we're in a balanced market. What that means for you is that there's enough homes to buy as a buyer, and as a seller, you can still sell your home for a fair price. Homes are appreciating at the rate of inflation, which is about 2 to 3%. So, all is good. But it's not going to be something like now, like our appreciation rates for May is at 42%, which is insane. So, the pendulum swings one way or the other. It's good for sellers in some ways, can be good for buyers in other ways. But I really don't see us, just going to balance and happily ever after. I think, Phoenix wants to give us a bit more excitement than that, but who knows what'll happen. So let's talk about a few other things going on here. So supply is really the factor that's making the most difference for our overall CMI because it hasn't changed. So as demand has gone down, supply has stayed the same, and that's the problem. We don't have enough homes to sell to people that want to buy them. But our supply has actually increased 9.5% in the last 2.5 months. Now, this is separate from the CMI. I'm not talking about the 90 to 110 balance. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just saying when you measure our supply levels from 2.5 months ago to now, it's increased about 9.5%. So that's great. But when we look back at last year, we're still 63% down from our supply levels last year. So just drastically low. Nothing's changed really on that front, although there's been a little bit of an increase, 9.5%. And this week is or last week I think it was, is the first time we've listed more than we've put under contract in 1 week. So these numbers have been so tight week after week. For example, last week was the first time that we actually listed 2,359 new listings, and we had 2,340 go under contract. So there was actually a surplus of something that was left over after that week. Those numbers have been switched in the last, for as long as I've been reporting on this. We've had more listings go under contract than came on the market week after week after week. So knowing that supply's gone up about 9.5%, knowing that the supply factor on the CMI went up just 1 point, and seeing that these numbers of new listings compared to new contracts has kind of flipped, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're going to start to see some more supply, maybe a little bit of change. I don't know. If you watched my update last week, I was talking about 3 reasons why the market is cooling off a little bit, 3 factors. And so I think that information, in addition to what we're talking about today, brings a little hope that we may get out of the days of, 50 offers on one house. Maybe. It's going to take a little bit for us to get to that point where things actually change on the ground level. But I'm hopeful that we're starting to see movement we haven't seen in a while. So I think that's important. That being said, right now the percentage of listings that are selling over the asking price is at 57%. So don't get too excited too fast. We're still in this frenzy right now. And $16,000 is the median over asking. Median means that 50% were above and 50% were below that value. So 15% above 16,000, 50% below 16,000 when they've offered over asking. So that's a pretty hefty number. And then a couple things that I want to mention too on just the overall health of the Phoenix area and economy. Our incomes rose here to a median of $79,000 in Q1. I don't know what it was. I think it was like 63,000 when I was looking at it last year, but the report's in, and so as of Q1 here in Phoenix, the median income is now $79,000, which is an increase from what it was before. 62.8 of homes sold in the first quarter of this year are deemed affordable to any family making that median income here in Phoenix. So that's great. Anywhere between 60 to 75% is an affordability range according to, I don't remember exactly, it's a national housing data company. So we're in that affordability range. So that's good news. So income's rising, still in an affordable range, lots of appreciation. If you're a homeowner currently, still getting 57% of closings are going over the asking price. And we have some hope on the horizon of maybe some future supply. So that's about it. That's all I've got for this week, but it'll be interesting to watch. Things are shaking up a little bit. Things are changing slightly. So I'll be back next week to give you another update, of course, on the CMI. And then if anything changes in supply, I will be on that. And hopefully I have some more interesting updates then. Sorry, there's no dogs today. We are inside because it's warm and they obviously didn't care to come in the office and say hi. So maybe next week they'll jump in the video. But thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or look in the description below. I have a link where you can set up a time to chat with me if you just want to discuss your future plans to buy or sell or have questions. Anything is fine. So have a great week. Thanks for stopping by my channel, and I'll see you guys next week.